I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. Abraham Lincoln. My friends, be that slow walker. Learn at your own pace by doing. That is, listening each and every day, practice trading all you can, and getting this down. Don't worry about how long it takes, because when you master the charts, you will make up for all the time that you ever spent. Now, let's talk about where things are today. Stocks and bonds down, gold up, Bitcoin up. Let's jump into these charts. We see, as we look at the way this week has ended, the S&P 500, just a few minutes here before, about another 12 minutes before the markets close as I record this for you today, we see Bitcoin down, the S&P down just about 0.5%. Overall this week, we can see a smaller candle size. Volume is not up to average. Where we had above average volume last was on the week beginning the 29th of January. Last week we had lower volume than this week, but a bigger candle. This week we did get up to a higher high, just a bit higher. We are still above the weekly trend line on the 2-day and the half-day charts. We can see where things popped up in the morning and bled off that in the afternoon. So where does this put us going into this next week? Well, we can see how things, really climbed up that Thursday and Friday of last week. Then on Monday, Tuesday, I'm looking at the 2-day chart now. We had spinning top, almost a doji, indecision, but then things the next day popped up a little bit. Next 2 days, we can see where the Wednesday, Thursday candle, again, was another spinning top. This latest one on Friday, this is just the first day of the latest 2-day candle. It'll finish drawing next week. But as we look at things, we can see, again, where we have a green candle that's forming with a wick on top right now. Low volume, did not meet even average volume on that last 2-day candle. So things are slowing down. Doesn't mean that it's not digesting these gains and will go up more. Isn't telling us that it's necessarily turning over. But we will keep an eye on things as we move into this next week. Now, the S&P down even more, about twice as much as the NASDAQ down, about twice as much as the S&P. As we look at it, almost 1% as opposed to the S&P down just 0.5%. And again, we can see where on these 2-day charts, we had a spinning top first. That was the Monday, Tuesday. The Wednesday, Thursday candle, almost a doji here, and then a doji forming today, getting closer to that weekly trend line. We see where actually the wick, the bottom wick, penetrated it today. We can see the half day. A lot of indecision in the morning, dropping off negative in the afternoon. Again, higher than average volume in the morning, not quite average volume in the afternoon, but again, slowing down here as we get to the end of the week. Doesn't mean things are rolling over, but it does mean that we will pay attention to see when this market is finally going to stop going up. How long is it going to go up? I don't know. But when it gets ready to go down, I feel like it's going to go down, and it's going to go down hard. So what are we going to do when that happens? Well, you've got a couple of easy choices if you can read a chart. There's something called SH. This is something for you to practice trade. It is the ProShare short. As the market goes up, SH goes down. Well, it does just the opposite. When the market goes down, it is an inverse fund. It is a short fund for the S&P, a single short. It's the ProShare short of the S&P 500. PSQ, that is the ProShare short of the NASDAQ 100. And when this market turns around and starts to head down, we will see PSQ moving up. So again, something for you to keep in your little bag of tricks. There's always a bull market somewhere. And when you see this market starting to crash hard, you have choices in your practice trades. If you had just a little bit of sophistication, a lot of things to know about using an inverse fund. Got a great training on that. Again, I'll put it at the end of today's video so you have it and you can listen to it. And it's something you really want to practice trade, learn the in and outs of. The fees are higher. They get repriced each day so it can magnify your losses. But again, you just need to experiment with it, practice trade it, learn it, see if you like it or not. Now, there is an inverse also to bonds, which I've gone to now, TLT. That is Tango, Bravo, Foxtrot, TBF. That is the ProShares short. And of course, look what it's been doing as TLT has been going down. It's been going up. And in fact, TLT was down today, 0.61%, lower low this week. Not a lot as far as volume goes. You can see the 2 days well below that weekly trend line, as is the half day. Down in the morning and then, pulled up a little bit in the afternoon, but still, right here as the market's getting ready to close, down 0.62%. So moving in the right direction, which is the direction of the weekly chart. We don't really care which way anything moves as long as we can accurately track it. Think about that. Think about that. Don't care what anything does as long as we can track it. Price movements, all we care about, and accurately predicting where it is going. Let's look at gold. Gold is up actually the last 2 days, but as you look at the 2-day candle, you see our Heikin Ashi candlestick shows us what? A doji here, lots of indecision. Not a lot of volume though, so that's not helping us out a great deal. Well, this is just the first day, I'm sorry. This is the first day of this, so we'll see how things wrap up as we get into this next week, because we had, you can see where we had all this down move, and then things started moving up on Wednesday, creating this tail. And then that was on, stopped the down movement. You can see where it really hammered down in the morning on Wednesday and then pulled up some with this candle in the afternoon. It didn't hit that low again. And then on Thursday, popped up in the morning, about the same in the afternoon. And then here on Friday, it's really popped up. That's given us a doji there. So again, price is still well below the weekly trend line on gold, but we will pay attention to it. Did reach a lower low this week. Volume, not quite, it's higher than last week, not quite average. So we'll keep our eye on gold, see if it's going to continue that downward move or if it's going to get stuttered and move back up. Now again, we can see where, if we go back to December 11, where it plumbed down to here and then moved back up. So is it going to bypass that sort of area where it had support before and then move back up, or is it going to move through it, perhaps down to this area? Is it going to go all the way down to where it went back there in October? Don't know. We'll keep an eye on it as we get into this next week. Now, lastly, let's jump into Bitcoin. Now we've got this chart that is a new ETF that took the place of XBTF. This is HODL, or as I've been calling it, HODL. It hasn't been around very long. You can see that we're just finishing up the 6th week of this new ETF. It was the old one that VanEck had was closed. You had all those new ETFs, the spot Bitcoin that came on. They closed the old one, they opened this one. So we've been looking at the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart to help us see what's going on as we look at, because we don't have average volume except on this chart. HODL has not been around long enough to give us average volume on the weekly or even the 2-day, but that'll be coming about soon. We do have average volume because we have more than 20 periods on the half day to see. You can see where it's been topping out now for about 2 days. Big week for Bitcoin, moving up. We look at the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. Big up week. This latest 2-day candle not hitting a higher high. And of course, we can see as we look at the 195-minute chart on this 24-hour chart how it's just sort of been hanging sideways, has over the course of the afternoon been moving down, but we will keep an eye on Bitcoin as we get into this next week. Just the first day of this latest 2-day candle, we'll see how it wraps up over the weekend, because again, it is a 24-hour-a-day chart as we look at it on the Bitcoin 24-hour-a-day chart. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get into this next week, but a banner week for Bitcoin. Again, hit a high. If we go to the 24-hour-a-day chart, where we're looking at the Bitcoin price, a high of $52,884. So we'll keep an eye on all of this. I will be releasing for everyone the Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. We so appreciate everybody being with us. We particularly appreciate the support and the underwriting of our Patreon members. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.